More DDoS attacks in Ukraine as we ramp up the tensions. Peter, with this not so critical update.
So this is not March, we're recording in the future. This is February the 23rd, Wednesday that we record the podcast. And a few hours ago, the national, or the NCSC, sorry, NCSC is us, I think, NSCU. Anyway, cybercrime agency in the UK released information that, posted about a DDoS attack happening in Ukraine again. So there is another distributed denial of service attack happening against Ukrainian organizations, apparently targeted at banks and military government organizations again. And it's just happening a little while ago. Coincidentally, the day after Russia invaded Ukraine. So
under a false flag pretense.
Yes.
Of helping.
Yes. Yeah. Very false flag, very kind of blatantly false flag.
And now
there's not much of an update
that Russia is directly behind these attacks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, which is being confirmed.
So I actually just heard that border post cameras have been disabled in Crimea. This is like breaking.
Wow.
And Ukraine has just authorized all of their citizens to mobilize and carry weapons.
Yes.
Wow.
Like we're talking about right now. So
oh my God.
Things are definitely heating up. I think we're going to not only see a huge amount of or a huge increase in cyber attacks on infrastructure and critical like government websites that citizens need access to, but communications are going to start either be taken down or going to be going in and out and rolling brownouts. Internet service providers are going to be a huge target. Russia, if we're really seeing the start of the invasion, which it's looking like, what Russia's main goal is to cause as much confusion regarding communication or reliable communication as possible. So they want to push the Ukrainian people to themselves spread misinformation. They want the Ukrainian military to not know and get and receive accurate orders and information. So communications is the biggest tool in an invasion or a war. Without communication, you're back 100 years.
So
you need to have runners and stuff.
Here's how I think this could escalate into a proper cyber nuclear war type situation. What if Ukraine gets accepted into the EU at the last minute? I think one of the preventative measures that the EU will take will be to essentially cut off Russia from the internet. And it will prevent traffic going in and out of Russia from any kind of European countries.
Backbone, yeah.
Yeah, backbone. And so then Russia will retaliate and they will try and go around those blocks, and then they will basically try and keep cutting off Ukraine from, that's where they're invading. And then it will escalate and it will get more and more serious. And Russia's pretty big. They have a lot of resources on the internet, but it is going to be possible to essentially isolate them at some point. But then they can route through China and they can route through other Russian allies. The internet's because it's a resilient, interconnected set of networks. Sorry, John, what did you say?
Russia's not only publicly proven this, but for years, they have shown the world that they can reliably turn off external. They can become an intranet, a statewide, only through encompassing only the Russian border, and reliably stay online.
Yeah.
Without any external help, I guess.
Yeah, they've done some specific tests to cut off
the internet.
And see if they can survive and what happens.
Exactly.
And
they
so
did.
At least,
and according to them, it went really well. because
Yeah.
and this is exactly the reason why, right? Like you said, if Ukraine last minute joins the EU, the European Union can very quickly and swiftly decide that all internet service providers and backbone providers need to cut off access to Russia. Of course, that only cuts off one side. Like you said, Russia borders a lot of countries that it's allied with. So it doesn't really stop them from accessing internet, but it can limit them.
But that's where the escalation point comes in from.
Yeah.
If there continue to be DDoS attacks directed against Ukraine, and they're coming via Russian allies, what a
What happens
reasonable
then?
course
Do
of
you
action,
cut off them?
right?
I'm
Do
a
you
little
divide the internet?
I'm a little surprised it hasn't started escalating already. They're clearly disrupting Ukrainian communications, like John said, for military advantage.
Because
as
they're
of
not in
this
the EU
invasion.
yet.
Sorry,
They're not in the EU yet.
disrupting
There's
communications.
no Ukraine isn't part of
Oh
the
yeah, no,
EU.
right. No, I got that. But what I'm saying is they're clearly taking this step. It seems like it's very close to the point where it's going to be also necessary to start disrupting communications in Europe and the U.S. for their involvement in it, even before Ukraine is accepted to the EU. Although I think they're trying to toe that line so they don't get swept up
Yeah,
in that.
I,
But also some retaliation, like why aren't countries already trying to disrupt Russian communications in similar ways, just for
Ru-
that same fear of
Ru-
escalation?
because Russia's a hard target to attack. It's massive and it's got incredibly good internet connections, and you can't just kind of flood the whole country. So it would not be very effective unless it was a coordinated effort or coordinated response to something. So it would take like something like the EU to be able to actually have an effect. But
Which
right
is why we're
now,
seeing the response more on the diplomatic side. Germany shut down the
yeah,
Nord Stream 2 pipeline project. I just saw a
yeah,
headline that Biden is allowing that to go through, those
yeah.
sanctions.
Well,
But
yeah,
yeah, we're not going in the
the
right
sanctions
direction.
the sanctions are just designed to be annoyances, big annoyances, really, not actually
Or pressure?
do a full. Yeah, it's a kind of like we're going to really disrupt some. We're going to piss off some particular things that are going to make things a little bit difficult for you.
Mhm.
They went after some individuals, some high net worth individuals and their families. People who've got billions of froze assets, and they caused some banks to stop trading internationally. But internally, Russia's still fine. But they're not going to lose too much sleep over it. But like the full scale cyber nuclear war type thing, I think could escalate from something like this if EU accepts Ukraine, and then the entire continent can act together.
I guess I picture this like cyber nuclear war as a different kind of thing. So here we see the communications technology elements as a tactic in a traditional war. When we talk about like this cyber nuclear war, I imagine it more as direct attacks on infrastructure, banking systems, information flow, country to country, maybe without that shooting element, the kinetic warfare side of it. But I guess we'll see how it escalates from where we are now.
I do think
Well,
they're
I
going to
think
be paired.
yeah,
This is not.
might be one
This
or the
isn't
other.
a U.S. versus Russian hackers hack back and forth. I think it's going to be not only is it going to be targeted attacks towards banking infrastructure and critical infrastructure, but also while that is happening, while we will be seeing a huge increase in DDoSing, we've already seen it. It's already happening. And this is only going to grow because what that does is it takes away resources to focus on the millions of people without internet while they're attempting to snipe a small target that is of super high importance through a coordinated attack,
Right.
cyber attack,
And
right? So
China, huge wild card in this whole thing too.
China has yet to really say anything. We do know that from a partnership standpoint, most likely China will take Russia's side.
Right.
Can't speak
Yeah,
for sure. For all we know, they'll flop and say they stand with the West. But
I don't think that.
we are already seeing in the news today the usage of allies and Axis. And that is so scary
Yeah.
that when they were referring
sure.
to Russia and China and their relationship, they called it an Axis partnership. And that is terrifying.
Yeah. Okay.
More to
Well,
come.
That's it.
almost certainly, yeah. We had
think
a
we can
couple
cut
more
off on
stories
that.
about Ukraine that we even could have covered today, but I think we'll leave it at that and keep an eye on it over the next couple.